So as you drive the very rural R115 in the Wicklow Mountains, better known as the Military Road, you might think that it was built to connect rural villages and townlands. But you would be wrong. The Military Road was built in the 1810s, following the 1798 rebellion, as a number of leaders of 1798 rebellion had escaped into the Wicklow Mountains and conducted a guerrilla campaign. One of the main leaders of that was Michael Dwyer. At the time, the Wicklow Mountains would have been covered in a lot more forest than it is, sadly, today. So between 1800 and 1809, the British Army set out to capture the remaining rebels in the mountains. And to do that, they needed to build fortifications in which they could harass the guerrilla army led by Michael Dwyer. So in order to do that, they planned to build the Military Road and then build 4 different barracks across the mountain range so that they could harass Michael Dwyer's men and stop them harassing the British Army and starting out a second rebellion, which they feared following the 1798 rebellion. To change the control of the Wicklow Mountain area, the British decided something unprecedented. They would carve a military road right through the heart of the mountains, creating a direct route from Rathfarnham in Dublin to Aughvana in County Wicklow, with a branch leading to Enniskerry. The road would allow troops, horses and artillery to move quickly into areas that had long been natural strongholds for the Irish resistance. Building the Military Road was a remarkable feat of engineering, carried out primarily by soldiers rather than civilians. They spent almost over a decade cutting through bogs, building bridges and carving the road using only hand tools. Most of the time was spent in temporary camps, enduring slightly harsher conditions than what I'm in today. And it took them almost 9 years, along with the 4 fortifications that were also built. Along with building the Military Road, the British Army set out to build 4 fortified barracks. One in Glencree, one in Lara, one in Drumgoff, which is the one behind me, and one in Annavay. I'm probably getting that last one, the pronunciation, wrong. Each of these barracks was to hold around 100 soldiers in an attempt to push away Michael Dwyer's men from the surrounding countryside. This one was actually attacked and burnt. So the original, this is the second construction of it, as it was burnt by Michael Dwyer's men. And then it was reconstructed and fortified again. Each barracks was built to act as a defence and a fortification, and then also to allow soldiers to patrol the mountain ranges and limit the movement of Michael Dwyer's men in the countryside, and then eventually going on the offensive when and if possible. And while Michael Dwyer's men actually surrendered in 1803 and he eventually went to Australia, the road continued to be constructed as it was used as a transport hub. Also in 1815, the French army, Napoleon was defeated, so there was no more fear of French coming, which had been a case in 1798. The barracks then eventually fell into disrepair. Drumgoff turned into an office for a mining company. Supposedly it's undergoing renovation now, but there's nobody here. The one in Glencree is actually the Reconciliation Centre. That has a good bit of history to it, but it was actually closed today, hence why I came to this one. The one in Lara turned into a hostel. No, the one in Lara actually was converted into private home. I think it was demolished and redone. And the one in Annavay turned into, that's a hostel. But this is a remnants of one of the British Army's barracks. So here is a little bit of extra information I was able to gather about the Drumgoff Barracks. Now, I've never done this before, but if you've got this far, could you please like, comment, subscribe, and do all that good stuff for the YouTube channel? It really does help. Thank you, and this is the rest of the information. One of the last surviving reminders of the British efforts to control the Wicklow Mountains after the 1798 rebellion. Construction of this barracks began in 1801 as part of the larger military project. Its aim was primarily to capture and stop Michael Dwyer. Glenmalure, with its steep slopes and dense forests, had become one of their strongholds. To break this resistance, the British Army built the Military Road, along with the 4 adjoining barracks. Drumgoff was built to house around 100 soldiers. From here, troops would patrol the surrounding valleys and move quickly to areas where rebels were believed to be hiding. The building was heavily fortified, enclosed with defensive walls and connected to the Military Road by the stone bridge that still stands beside it today. By the time the barracks was complete, the conflict it was built for was coming to an end. Michael Dwyer surrendered in 1803 and the mountains gradually became quieter. When the army finally left in 1844, the building found a new purpose. It became part of the Wicklow Mining Company, serving as offices and accommodation for workers involved in the lead mines of Glenmalure. For a time, these military walls echoed not with the sounds of marching soldiers, but with the activity of one of Ireland's most important mining industries. After the mines declined in the 19th century, the barracks was abandoned. Exposed to the harsh Wicklow weather for generations, the roof collapsed and the building slowly became an atmospheric ruin that you see today. And you can see in some of the images of the video here, you can see where some of the brickwork is collapsing onto the windowsills that have been bricked up. So there's definitely a huge chance of something falling on your head. Yeah, I would probably recommend just seeing this from the outside. There's not a whole lot to see. It's bare ruins. You can see the outlines of walls and rooms and the second floor partitions, but that's about it. But here's a look at a over 200-year-old army barracks built to capture Michael Dwyer. Thanks to those soldiers, the military road is now one of Ireland's most scenic drives. A lot of tourists will pass through here and not know the history of the road. They'll also be wondering why it was built, and that is the reason. You can see the sweeping views, the silence and the beauty of the Wicklow Mountains when you're out here. Every bend tells a different story of the conflict and the rebellions that took place here. Now it's very peaceful, but they have left us with the spectacular views that you see before you. So that's a short and brief history of the military road in the Wicklow Mountains, why it was built, who it was built for and who it was built by. And thank you for watching, and I do hope you enjoy the drive if you're ever out here. I'm getting hammered here in the rain, but I'm already up the road, so I'm stuck. But anyway, I've heard of this place, this cottage, a few times. So following the failure of the 1798 rebellion, which was mainly in Leinster, took place mainly in Leinster, Wolfstone, along with other leaders, were caught and imprisoned. But Sam McAllister and Michael Dwyer went into the Wicklow Mountains, escaped from Baltinglass and other surrounding towns, and started launching a guerrilla campaign against loyalists and yeomen who had fought for the British in the 1798 rebellion. And they eventually made their way up to the Wicklow Mountains to a couple of cottages in 1788. An informer led a large British force up the mountains to the cottages, and a lot of the men and families surrendered, but the last cottage with Sam McAllister and Michael Dwyer and a number of other men said they would fight on. And just showing how 1798 was a bit different from other events following. Sam McAllister was a Presbyterian from County Antrim, so the Republican cause was not always a Catholic versus Protestant thing, but that's what happened later. But in this cottage, Michael Dwyer remained. Oh, there's a little sheep, I'll have to scare him. Oh, he's gone up the road. Michael Dwyer and his men were able to fend off the British forces, and Michael Dwyer ended up escaping. Sam McAllister was in the doorway here and used it to draw British gunfire, allowing Michael Dwyer to escape. So here it is, Dwyer-McAllister Cottage. Fleeing after the unsuccessful rebellion of 1798, Michael Dwyer, Sam McAllister and others took refuge in this cottage on the snowy night of 15th February 1799. Their hideout was betrayed to the English, who immediately besieged it. When McAllister was wounded in the arm, he realised he could not avoid capture, so he went to the door and voluntarily drew fire upon himself, distracting the men long enough for Dwyer to make escape. Dwyer later emigrated to Australia, where he died in 1825. The cottage has been partially restored. So it was purchased, if you actually, on the walk up, I don't know if it's going to rain too heavy, but on the walk up you actually walk through the farmland that the cottage was bought from. So there's a lot of men here back in 1948. So it's kind of sad Ireland's kind of lost that connection. Like, I know that was 50 years after War of Independence, but nobody comes to locations like this anymore. Now, unfortunately for me, it's all closed. all closed up. So I think it literally said on the thing. It's probably, I think it's just a reconstruction, but like a reconstruction obviously on the inside, but definitely not on the. But detached roof. There's no walls on that side or windows. Detached roof. So I was actually at the grave of Michael Dwyer in Australia, of course, but that was nearly 15 years ago now. To commemorate the Battle of Dwyer-McAllister, which I presume is the name of this place, which took place 15th of February 1799 at this location following the death of John Savage and Patrick Costello. The wounded Sam McAllister stood in the doorway and took all gunfire upon himself. This heroine died, allowing Michael Dwyer to make his most famous escape and live to carry on the fight until 1803 when he surrendered on terms. Also commemorate the deaths. Oh, fuck me, I need to get out of the brain. So the military road, the famous military road in Wicklow, was built to try and capture Michael Dwyer and his men up in these mountains. I don't know if it was specifically to get to this cottage and these, or the collection of cottages, but it was to stop his men attacking. But it sounds like there's a radio on inside. Can't really see it. Right. Hang on it. This spider webs. And get wet, but get out of here because it's lashing. But yeah, it's just, God, obviously it's in the middle of nowhere. They weren't really trying to make it easy to get to. But it was just on the drive out of Knockana. I took a wrong turn and then I saw a signpost. Signpost for here, because it's lashing rain. The only things here are the sheep. But look at the rain. I think that's how bad it is. Relax.